And I love that as an audience member. I love going, oh, it's him. Oh, no, it's her. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. You want to guess it. And I like to be right. So I'm always, no, it's that one.
Aaron?
Alice?
Thank God, can you hear me?
Are you okay?
Daniel knows.
Congrats to you both on the
Thank
new
you.
film.
Thank
It
you.
is pretty amazing. So we've got prospective murder, disappearances, a trip to the jungle. This movie really has a little bit of everything. What was it like for you, Eric, to kind of step back into the role of Aaron Falk?
Oh, look, it felt like a bit of a cheat, really, because you never get a chance to reprise roles in films, really. So step into the shoes of someone I already knew and had done some development on was great. But then the fresh challenge was, well, where's he go from here, and how does this story evolve? And yes, it was a lot of fun.
Now, Jane Harper, who of course wrote the book, has this amazing ability to kind of make the scenery and the landscapes almost like a character all of their own. Deborra-Lee, what was it like for you to step into that literary jungle?
Brutal.
Brutal?
Yeah. It was exactly that. But I mean, as an actor, I mean, I don't have to pretend that I'm in this environment. I was really there with the leeches, with the rain, with the trees hitting in the face, with the falling in the ground, and freezing cold. So no acting required.
It felt like, yeah, watching it, you can kind of see that it's so dark and it's so grim. And you
It
mentioned
really
the
was.
leeches and things like that.
Oh, yeah, well, we just mentioned Eric and I are the only ones that didn't get leeches, but everyone else did.
Well, it is one of those films that feels really dark. But one thing that I loved about it was it's such a different landscape than we're used to seeing Australia on film.
Yeah,
It felt
exactly.
completely different.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you guys to step into that role and for it to be completely different than every other Australian production I feel like we've ever seen?
It was really exciting. I mean, we're gifted that through Jane Harper. You know, her landscapes are so evocative, and she really gets to the essence of what they're like to be in. So when you read the books, you feel like you're there. So the challenge for Rob and I was to try and find this world and make sure that the audience felt that it was true to the book, and again, that it's uniquely Australian, that it's not caricature, that it's not what we normally see. And then hopefully that will help the film travel in the way that The Dry did, because overseas audiences just love to be immersed in that.
Do you feel like if you keep making movies about people dying in Australia that maybe you'll undo some of Tourism Australia's good work?
No, I think
dear.
it can work the other way. I think people go, I want a piece of that.
No, of course. It was such a successful film the first time around. I feel like the second time it's going to be just as great. Deborra-Lee, one thing I wanted to ask you is, with the exception of Eric, it feels like it really was an amazing ensemble, female-led cast.
Yeah.
What was it like for you to work with all these amazing Australian actors?
Well, they're all incredibly talented, and what I loved was that not only were all the characters very different, we as people were all very different. So it was a great sort of chemistry and alchemy that we're all sort of brought together to deal with our differences and the challenge of the environment, and then you've got the script. So it was, it was exciting. It was an exciting challenge.
Now it is kind of a classic whodunit, keeps you guessing all the way to the end. I'd love to hear from your opinion, what makes a great murder mystery?
I think if you've read the source material, that when you're presented with the film, at some point you forget who did it, and that you're completely either confused or misdirected in a great way. And Jane is great at misdirection. A lot of that comes from the way that she casts her individual characters to be so very, very different. But I think that's the key. I think even in this case, you could have read the script and watched the film like, oh, maybe, oh no, it is that person, or it isn't that person. So I think that's the trick. It's a challenge as well.
And I love that as an audience member. I love going, oh, it's him. Oh, no, it's her. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. You want to guess it. And I like to be right. So I'm always, no, it's that one.
So even if you read the source material, you still feel like you're guessing all the way to
Yeah.
the end. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate
Thank
your time.
you.
It's
Cheers,
been
thank
fantastic
you.
chatting with you.
Nature holds us all to account.